Did you know that you can make this leather purse without any leather experience? Watch this video and I'll show you how. For Christmas, my husband gave me a leather purse kit from Babylon, and so I did a video for that, and the link is down below. I did a video on how to assemble it. I fell in love with making the bag, so I ordered a second one. This is the Cambridge bag from Babylon, and don't tell Ross, but I've already ordered another one. I am in love with these. So today's video, I show you how you can simply, I think it's only 10 steps, you can assemble this kit and make your own leather purse. We need to stitch across the top of each of these pieces, and you're going to stitch clear to the corner on each one. On another purse, I made the mistake and only went to there. Go clear to the corner on each of these pieces. For your thread, cut it 4 times the length of the piece that you're sewing. A really cool tip that they had on Babylon's website is after you thread your needle, go back to the tail and push the needle through the thread and draw up your thread. And so now it's contained on there, but it's not a knot, so it'll still fit through your holes. So do that on both ends. Now you have a needle on each end of your thread, and you go back and forth through each hole. So here we're going to, there's about halfway, and so I'm going to go in this hole, draw it up, and you kind of pull the thread out of the way so that this one will go smooth in there without splitting that thread, and you pull it tight each time. Okay, continue across. When we get to the end, I'll show you a trick on finishing off your thread. When you get to the end, just go back 1 or 2 stitches like you're back stitching on a sewing machine. End with them on the same side and tie it in a knot. Pull it tight. Nip your threads pretty close, but not incredibly close, but I'd say maybe a 1/4 inch on each side. Take a lighter or a clicker, and we're going to melt those pieces. Don't get your leather super hot, but we're just going to melt those pieces. And just tap in the thread. There you have it. So now you're going to do that on the top of all 3 of these pieces. This is the front pocket, and so it goes on the front of your bag like this. This is called a gusset, which is just the strap that will go in between them. So it is going to end up like this. And so this strap here goes all the way around, and this sits on top of it. Take your gusset, even up the top holes, and you're going to sew this all the way around. Once that is on there, the other side goes here all the way around. the gusset for your pocket, remember a gusset is the side piece, the gusset now will go on the front of your bag, matching up these holes. So take your thread, make it 4 times the distance of that area, and we're going to attach this gusset to these holes. This is what you have after you have the gusset sewed to both the pocket front and the front of the bag. It went really slick. It is kind of tight through the corners here, but just with a little patience, there was no trouble. You just had to go slower and get around the corners, and then you have your pocket done. This is the flap that goes over your bag. And on the top you have holes on each side, which is what your handle will attach to. So we're going to do the handle next. To do the handle, we want to top stitch on the sides, and then these holes match up with these holes, and so we'll sew those together. So first step, we are going to start in this hole right here, and we're going to top stitch down, and then we're going to stop and leave your threads long. Then you're going to do the same thing, but you're going to start on the opposite side. You're going to start in this hole, and you're going to top stitch this way. And with your threads, you can leave them long, but if you're ready, leave your needles in, and then we will attach this together. So you're going to want 2 pieces of thread, and for your measurements, go down and around and take that times 4, and then go down and around this side and that one times 4. So I'm going to get started. I will top stitch on each side and have my threads and show you how we put it onto the flap. After you have the stitching done on the handle, and we've left the strings on each end, so you've cut enough string for each side, leaving your tails here. So my needles are still on this piece. So you take this is your flap. So you take your flap, and we are going to match up the holes and sew each side onto your flap. So we're going to go around there, and then you're going to go around this side as well with this thread. Here's what it looks like after you have your handle attached, and now you're ready for the next step. I just love how they think of everything on these patterns. So you're going to want to have some stability on the front of your flap. So they have given you a piece to sew on the inside. So here's the piece with the handle. This piece is going to sew on the inside, and then that allows you to put these straps on the outside, and it has a little bit more strength there. So the next step is take your little one, stitch around the edge. Once that's done, you'll take the 2 straps. They have 3 holes. It's to go into the buckle down below, and you're going to sew that on there. So you're going to do a piece of thread 4 times the length to go around there, and then do the same 4 times the length to sew those on. Okay, now after you have attached your reinforcement piece and your 2 straps, now you get to put on some bling. And I think this is one of the reasons I love the Babylon bags, is because their attention to detail and quality, that just makes this whole bag pop. So these are 2 what I call Chicago screws, but they're 2 decorative screws that come in your pack. So put them on the front. On the back side, take the screw part. You're going to need a Phillips screwdriver. So we're going to put that in. And do that on both pieces. And now you have your first glimpse of bling on your Babylon bag. Okay, now we're starting to assemble some more pieces. It is time to sew your flap to your back piece. There's 2 rows of stitches on your flap, and 2 on your back piece. Just line them up. They include in their kit a clip and then this awl. So this is a good time where if you want to line up the 2 corner stitching places there, so those are lined up, then take your clip and clip the pieces together, so then when you're stitching it'll go a little bit smoother. These 3 pieces are the sides of the bag, the bottom and then the sides. And so there's holes on the center of each of those that line up perfectly with the center on each end of these. So we're going to stitch those. Don't do anything with these curves right now. So right now stitch this piece to here and this piece to here, and backstitch each time, and then melt off your threads. Okay, remember this is your side of the bag, and so these holes here will be where your handle snaps onto. And so you need to get these 2 pieces and these 2 pieces of hardware, and we're going to just stick that through there. Just have to bend it a little bit to go in, and you fold it over. So we're going to line up the holes there and match them to here and stitch all the way around, and then do the same thing on the other side. And so once you get those sewn on there, this is where your strap is going to clip onto. Now we get to play with the buckles that attach to the straps we put on a little bit ago. And so the big picture, this is what we're going to end up with. This buckle is always on your strap. We don't unbuckle and buckle it to open your purse. There's a magnetic snap there that goes onto the front of the pocket that you made earlier. So let me show you how we assemble this strap that holds the buckle. First of all, we need to make our little keepers. There's these 2 cute little clasps there, and then you have 2 straps. These are your keepers to keep your tail in. So take the connector. There's a little slit in the end of each of these straps. Wrap around the end and put it through the other end of there. And you can use your fingers, whatever, to bend those down. I have some needle nose here. Just going to bend in the ends of the tabs and give it a little pinch. So that's the keeper, and you're going to do the same thing on your other one. And now the buckle, we need to slide it in. Yeah, and the tongue of the buckle needs to hit correctly on the top of your buckle here. So when you're putting it together, see right there, I'm completely backwards. This will be going down like that, and it is wrong. So I'm going to switch that around. Put the tongue on that side. There we go. Now let's see what we have. Yeah, so there we go, because this is going to be sliding up on there, so we're just going to be stitching around that. But before we do that, we're going to slide on our keeper on just to one piece on the front piece, not the magnetic side, on the front piece of your strap. Slide it in up to the top. Now you can line up the pinholes and stitch around the strap. Okay, we are getting super close, so you need to bring back out the pocket that we did first. Here is our flap, and here is the side of your purse. So this piece here, just brilliant how they've designed it. So you're going to match up your curve. When you get to the curve, it just turns, and the seam you just sew right over that. I just think it is such a brilliant design. So we're going to sew this around the pocket side. Then you bring your one that you have the flap, and we do the same exact thing. On the Babylon website, they show on the top of the bag to go around the top. So I am going to follow their advice and going to loop it around the top before I start sewing. So going around the top, but I'm going to do that twice so it's just nice and strong. And pull that tight. So now I have the stitch across the top there, and now we just continue just as we've been doing. The holes line up wonderfully. Okay, on these corners, I went ahead and double backed on each of the corners and then wrapping around the top. I think it looks great and it just feels nice and sturdy. The finishing touch is putting on our buckles. And it's a magnet snap that clicks right in. Oh, we're getting close. Okay, this comes pre-made. This is a strap that they've sent. It's adjustable as well. So I'm going to go kind of in a medium hole. And nice swivel snaps on each end. Ah, we did it. Look at what we have done. Fantastic. So that opens up nice and big, has a spot in the front. Love it. So here it is all done. This is the Cambridge bag from Babylon. Everything on here matched up perfect. The quality is mind-blowing. And I just really, really love the fact that they do attention to details, the little hardware, it all just really makes a quality bag. So if you have any questions, please comment down below. But as always, thank you for watching DIY on the House.